And after a really awesome, grateful cry, I'm pretty humble, but what I just read is pretty profound. And $3 in my Bible and a quarter. I'll have to look up 325 with a little white feather and a bunch of lottery tickets. And oh my God, Lacey for you too. It has Lacey KY, which I'm thinking is, or K4, which to me I was just like KY, like, um, or maybe it's a K, like Lacey Goat 4000, or Lacey, and I put like, anyways, I forgot what I was just thinking. K4 would be like 4000. Maybe it's just a four because it's Zeus and then 818 and dollar signs. And I read on the Bible it says, because I got it from, I don't know, somebody, oh, was it a church like little book thing that, you know how they give away like the little books that you see on the side of the street, but it says please do not remove. So I was like, okay, and I kept your little sticker in there. I was prompted to read, because I was like, okay, what else is in my Bible? I was prompted to read Matthew 13:10. And basically it's saying that, they were asking, um, like who was it? The apostles or something were asking, um, the disciples were asking, why is it that some, basically what I interpreted, why is it that some have I'm calling it a gift, the secrets of some know the kingdom, the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. For those who have more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. The reason I speak to them in parables, because the disciples were asking, why do you speak in parables? Is that seeing they do not perceive, and hearing they do not listen, nor do they understand. With them indeed is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah that says, you will indeed listen, but never understand. This is to the disciples and or the people that were asking, and you will indeed look, but never perceive. I'm just going to start it over. Um, Indeed is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah that says, you will indeed listen, but never understand. You will indeed look, but never perceive. For this people's heart has grown dull, and their ears are hard of hearing, and they have shut their eyes, so that they might not look with their eyes and listen with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn, and I would heal them. So that they would listen with their heart and turn, then he would heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. And this is, another section. Truly, I tell you, many prophets and righteous people longed to see what you see, but did not see, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Because I have heard my calling, and I've taken off over a year of just focusing on my spirituality, healing my inner child, because you have to have your heart light as a feather, just like Jesus said, to have your heart light as a feather, um, and to enter the kingdom of God, and to enter, you know, and I don't necessarily, know that it's just heaven. We can have heaven on earth as well. While we're living our life here, it doesn't have to be in this turmoil, inner turmoil, outer turmoil, like all this. It doesn't have to be. But your heart needs to be light as a feather, and you need to love like a child. But to love like a child, we also have to do our inner child healing, because we've all been broken. We've all had our own traumatic experiences. And if you have it in childhood, then you probably have had some or something in your adulthood, or something that you're going through right now that it's just making your heart heavy, which is not, that's not what God put us here for. God is love, and I've been saying that, and all my writing, my music, and just everything, my paintings that I've been doing, it's all about finding your balance within and the balance with God, as so above is below, and you know, just making my heart so much lighter. And there were some times that it got really, really dark doing the inner child healing because I had so much traumatic, like you're talking, most people would have never survived as much as I have. But I'm a survivor, and I know in previous lives I've been a warrior. And this time I decided to be a warrior in love. I've always been a warrior for God and the good. Um, but I've embraced my dark side because I've always had a dark side too, and we all do. But I embrace my light as much as my dark, so then I have complete balance. Um, but anyways, I was reading this, and then I was just like, I started crying, so I would record myself because I was like, oh my God, because I just got a download. Because I'm humble. A lot of people like seek to be prophets. They seek to be um, people that God is speaking through, that are delivering messages and this and that. Or even I was listening to this awesome Cleo Ra that I love listening to her. She's like an old ass soul too. And I was listening to her. I was making me some breakfast, or actually more like brunch, and I forgot what I was saying. But she was like something about a heavy heart, and that people that are humble are the ones that are actually chosen, not the ones that actually choose to be chosen, or they want to be chosen, or they're trying to force it, or maybe they have an Instagram or a TikTok or a YouTube because they want fame. And I'm the complete opposite. I don't want fame. I don't care if one of my messages only gets to 11 people. That shows me that maybe one out of those 11 people saved it. Maybe that's what they needed to hear that day. So when I do a channeled message, a channeled little prayer, or a channel like positive thinking, but they're usually channeled messages as soon as I get up from a deep sleep, because I, do a lot of my meditation and stuff then. But anyways, what was I saying? Um, I was saying this is what happened when we have food brain too, and a lot of epiphanies. But but even if just one person like saves it, or you know, only people like it instead of thousands. Like, I don't really care. And I don't care that I only have 1,300 followers on this one, or 5,000 on this one, or 51 on another one. Like, and, on another one, maybe 12 or something. Like, it doesn't matter, because whatever channel messages that I'm getting out there, God, the divine, which includes angels, ancestors, deities, like all that God has empowered to help us all here on this earth. Um, whether it's in this realm or beyond, they're here to help us. And if I get a channel message about a certain topic, and this is what I'm writing about, then that's something that somebody is going to need to hear that day. It may be multiple people. It may be something that it's going to generate on someone else's feed in a year from now that they need it, so that they, don't hurt themselves or be sad that day, or maybe they just needed that little pick me up. And that's all I care about. And because I'm humble, is the humble are chosen, right? And some people think that I'm arrogant, or I'm because I'm super intelligent and I'm very confident. Some people think that I'm arrogant, but that's like the least thing I am. I try not to be in my ego at all, but I mean, we have it because it's just something that we have, and it's an earthly thing. And it keeps us grounded here, and it is good to like be praised sometimes and this and that. But really, just me reading this and knowing that I was prompted to read this right now after hearing all that stuff, because I am humble and I don't seek fame. Those are the people that are actually the ones that people are going to respect more. And it's not that I'm seeking respect either. See, I don't even want to even sound like I'm, oh yeah, I'm like the most awesomeness in them. I know personally that I fucking am awesome. I know that I'm awesome and super intelligent and a super creative myself, right? And super, trusting in God. I know that. I don't need somebody else to tell me that. Does that make sense? Yeah. But I'm pretty fucking confident, regardless of whether, I had a horrible childhood and I haven't felt like I've always felt loved by my for myself, but it's because of my angels and ancestors and God, and I've always had God in my life regardless. And I've always known that I'm loved in one way, shape, form, or another, whether it's my dog, my kids, my grandkids, my family, my friends, that kind of thing. But even when I'm by myself, like I still know that I'm loved. And believe me, I know that I'm loved in the heavens and the 5D and above, even the 4D, like the middle. um, when I haven't felt like so much love here, because I've been alone a lot. I've been alone a lot in this life and going through this whole um, hermit mode and spiritual journey. Like I've had to like go really deep and heal myself. And oh my God, there's been days that I didn't see hardly any other people except for, at least I have my dog, so he makes sure I get out. I have to regardless take him for a walk at least 3 times a day, if not 2 times, and then the park. So he makes sure that I get out. But believe me, there's times that I'm like, I know that I'm welcome in the kingdom of God, and I was just like, just take me. Like this realm is so heavy for me. But it's not anymore. Like I've learned to embrace the beauty of earth supersedes the and the love that's here supersedes the ugliness in this earth and the greed and the 1% that like rules this world, like all the sadness and the famine and being cruel to animals. Like I don't like that either. And littering the earth, that makes me cry. Like that kind of stuff. It's like take care of our planet and our children and ourselves and our family and our friends and nurture your neighbors. I got in touch with my neighbors after I came out of hermit mode, and I've always been friendly, but and then there's one set of neighbors that are toxic, and none of us talk to them. It's like that's just what it is. So, like, I've learned to decipher those bad people, out of my life, and just like not let them take my energy. Because sometimes when you're an empath and I transmute energy, I have to cleanse myself and take a spiritual bath because sometimes, like, I can be so up and feeling light one day. I mean, not lately, but like even in the last week, even a few days ago. And then the next day, I was like super like drained, but it's because I was channeling so much that day. And, I had a couple sick neighbors. It could be somebody in the neighborhood. It could be something just in like the moon cycle. Like I've known a lot of that stuff actually really affects my energy. So I'll have to go take a spirit bath because then I'm like, oh my God. And I start seeking into like not necessarily depression, but like I'm just tired and exhausted. And then when you feel that way and you're not getting out and you're not doing stuff, then you start feeling a little negative and you're like, why am I feeling like this? And I'm like, you know what? I got to remember it's not always my energy. And so you have to give yourself some flack to people because some slack, I mean, because sometimes you may not even know. Like, we all have empathic abilities. Some of us are just more advanced than others because we know how to tap into it. And I believe that we all have those kind of abilities. And that's how we can all come together as oneness, because our thoughts travel even faster or as fast as light. So, none of these entities, groups of people, or anything actually they're such a small percentage in this world, but they dominate everything. And they turn us against ourselves and turn us even, against our neighbor, against other religions, against other races. Like, really? That's not what God wanted at all. And I could talk about this for a long time, but there's so much teaching that will be done. Not that just needs to be done, but that will be done through myself and others. And you know, we're going to raise the vibration of this earth just like I've raised myself up from the depths of fucking like my darkness where I thought I was gonna fucking drown to the light. But I love water, so I'm like, hey, I can go through the depths and come right back out and come out shining on the beach. Maybe I'll have to write that as a poem or something. But anyways, I love you all, and this is something I just wanted to record so I make sure I talk about it again because I mean, after I just had that cleansing cry and thanking God and the angels and my ancestors and spirit, the Holy Spirit, just everything for actually choosing me. It's just, it's fucking crazy. Like, seriously. As I hear a motorcycle out passing on the street, that's usually one of my confirmations. That or like a helicopter or like a horn honking. And I'll tell you guys about confirmations later. Um, I haven't tried to teach you guys about numerology and like paying attention to things. And even my son that's in prison, he's learning too, and it's awesome because I mean he's not even like in our energy, but me and Lacey and and he's learning. Um, and I know he's going to have a lot to teach people too because he's had a really hard life as well. And my other son, hopefully he comes around. He's had a near death experience on his motorcycle, so I have faith and hope in him as well. He's a really good person. He just came and like spent a full 24 hours, almost 24 hours with me and just treating me, and we had fun. We hung out. He made me brunch. And then we went to a movie and we took dinner inside the movie. It was awesome. And then he had to leave back. And then we went and had a drink and then had to go home. But he's also very greedy, and greed is like he holds on to his money so tight, and I love the fact that he's good with money, but you shouldn't be like that with your family. So I actually prayed to his dad earlier to just tell him that, I'm a single parent and he needs to, this is a good test for him too. I trust in God that everything's working out for me, even though I actually have my last $100 in my wallet and $3.25 here. But I'm not worried about it because God even said, do not remove this stuff from the Bible because I listen to my messages and I know that I don't have to worry about anything. And it feels awesome just to let everything fucking go. Be like your light-hearted, childlike self because God is our Father. He's the Father of our Father's Father and our Father's Father. Like, He's the Father of all. And I know that my Father is going to take care of me. You know, this is a happy fucking cry, seriously. It's like when a little kid is like, I don't have to go to school today. Or like when little kids are like, let's say for instance, we used to get fog days in Fresno where I'm from, right? Where sometimes when I lived in Idaho, my neighbors would say their kids had a snow day. So, wherever you live in this world, and when your kid gets like, remember from your childhood when you got that one day off and you're just like, yes, that's exactly how I feel right now. It's like freedom! Woohoo! Love, God, trust. Amen.